And we have moved into the FM 101.9 Music Hall. I'm looking at members of Blue Rodeo. They hail from Toronto, and Blue Rodeo is now in Southern California for a show tonight at the Troubadour, and they're also out in support of their fifth album, 5 Days in July. Thanks for coming in.
Pleasure.
This is actually your second visit to the Music Hall.
Yes, it is.
Yes, we've been to the great music hall before.
Right. The album came out last summer. And
It came out last fall, I think, in the States. It came out 2 years ago in Canada.
oh, wow. Well, when it first came out here is when you came in and visited us before. Have you been on the road ever since?
Sort of on and off. Basically, since the record came out 2 years ago, we toured Canada and we went to Europe and then started to do the States. And so, we do a month and take a month off, do a month, take a month off. Hasn't been too bad.
That way you don't get the road fatigue too bad, huh?
So we get the road fatigue instantly, but it doesn't last that long.
All right, well, it is Blue Rodeo. Why don't you guys give us a sample of what we might hear tonight at the Troubadour?
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Standing in the shelter, out of the rain, she tucked a note into his hand. Later on, they took his car, drove on down where the beaches are. He wrote her name in the sand, never even let go of her hand. Somehow they stayed that way for those 5 days in May, made all the stars around them shine. It's funny how you can look in vain, living on nerves and such sweet pain, loneliness that cuts so fine. Find the face you've seen 1,000 times. Sometimes the world begins, set you up on your feet again, and no, it wipes the tears from your eyes. Sometimes you never know the way that circumstances go, always gonna hit you by surprise. Well, I know my past, you were there, and everything I've done. It's hard to tell why they stood while others fell. Spend your life working it out. All I know is one cloudy day, they both just ran away. Rain on the windshield headed south. Oh, she loved the lines around his mouth. Sometimes the world begins, set you up on your feet again, and no, it wipes the tears from your eyes. How will you ever know the way that circumstances go, always gonna hit you by surprise? Well, I know my past, you were there, and everything I've done, you are the one.
Blue Rodeo in the Music Hall here at FM 101.9. Actually, it's half of Blue Rodeo we've got in the room.
Exactly half.
Right? We have Greg Keeler on guitar and vocals, and Jim Cuddy also on guitar and vocals. And you two do the writing as well. And Kim
Deschamps.
Thank you. On
Should have taken a shot
lap
at
steel guitar. I would have done it right.
Kim?
And so missing is Glenn Milcham on drums and James Gray on keyboards and Basil Donovan. Basil.
Yeah.
And they will all join you tonight
Yep.
at the Troubadour. Okay, the album is called 5 Days in July, and there's a really wonderful story about how this record came about. It started with basically like a band family vacation at an old farm outside of Toronto.
Well, it sort of start out like a little rest camp, but we just Greg has a farm outside of Toronto, and it's a little 12-acre farm, and we had come off a tour for our last record, Lost Together, and we wanted to do something, but we really didn't want to go into a studio and make a record, so we really just asked our friends and our family. Went out to Greg's and camped out there for a week, and we started out having just musical friends, and maybe we would do covers and just do something different, and it just once we listened back to some of the acoustic stuff that we had written in the open air out at his place, it just sounded really nice. It sounded like it was worth pursuing and trying to make it a good record. So we had the guests come back for the first week of July, and we just made the record then. It was pretty leisurely, and we did it live, so we did 2 songs a day. We do one in the morning. Whew, that was so tiring. And we take all the afternoon off. Then we do one in the evening. Oh, wow, that was enough for that day.
And no, I take it this was in July?
Yeah, it was literally like the first...
How'd you guess?
Well,
First 5 days of July.
Wow.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And from what I've heard about this farmhouse, it just sounds just beautifully intimate, and what a great atmosphere to create music in.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Yeah, and we're just...
We're sort of doing it again right now. Without the crowd this time.
Oh, recording the next record?
Yeah.
At the farmhouse again?
Yeah, the farm's been a little bit changed, though. That last time we had a mobile truck there and just sat in the living room. Now Greg has sort of transformed his place into more of a studio, so it's all inside and tucked away. There was something sort of once in a lifetime about that last record. We're not trying to recapture that again, but just the fact that people could walk in and out of the room while we were recording, and there were kids and dogs, and people would add their musical gift or their opinion if they wanted to, and it was just very freeform, and it all worked out. We didn't spoil any tracks. Nobody just crashed through a door in the middle of a perfect track.
This album has more intimate, maybe emotional feel. Do you think that comes out of recording in that type of atmosphere?
Oh yeah, definitely. The song that we're going to sing for you next on the recording. I don't know if this is intimate, but it's just indicative of how relaxed we were. There's a dog barking on the track. There was a dog. See, the nice thing about recording that way is when you look out the window, rather than in a studio, you look up and it's just, some sort of foam board somewhere. Where you look out the window and the sunshine and there's, birds singing and dogs barking, and that just sort of demystifies the whole process and sort of reminds you that this is just music and, things have life. It's not just always the poker chip to involve yourself in this ridiculous game of the music business. So, we didn't even hear the dog barking on this record until we made the video.
Wow.
And so, we went, wow, that's sort of funny, eh? Dog barking on it. It's cool, man. Let's sample that.
All right, so what song is this you're going to do?
Hasn't hit me yet.
Great, so we'll just imagine the dog barking somewhere in the middle. It's Blue Rodeo in the Music Hall at FM 101.9.
Say that you're leaving. Well, that comes as no surprise. Still, I kinda like this feeling of being left behind. This ain't nothing new to me. Well, it's just like going
the snow fall on this cold December night. Never thought this could happen, but somehow the feeling's gone. You got sick of the patterns, and I got lost in this song. Hey, hey, I guess it hasn't hit me yet. I fell through this crack and I kinda lost my head. I stand transfixed before this street light, watching the snow fall on this cold December night. Hey, hey, I guess it hasn't hit me yet. I fell through this crack and I kinda lost my head. I stand transfixed before the street light, watching the snow fall on this cold December night. Right in the middle of Lake Ontario. Sandstone's falling. Sandstone's falling. On deep solid water. Deep solid water. Great dark wonder. Into the waves of my life. Into the waves of my heart. Of my heart.
Blue Rodeo. Hasn't Hit Me Yet, the name of the song that they just performed live in the music hall, but found in its album version on 5 Days in July. There are times I wish we had a camera in here and a picture coming out of the radio so people can see certain things. And I'm looking at Jim's guitar. And obviously, this one has seen some miles because it's an old Takamine. But now I understand why those pickguards are so important, because you've got a hole worn underneath the middle hole.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make my hole bigger than Willie Nelson's hole on his guitar. It's going to take me years, and it's all actually because of poor pick technique.
Oh, is that it?
So
How old is that guitar?
shouldn't be a badge of honor. I don't know, maybe 4 years.
Oh,
Oh,
sure.
you've had that 8 years.
8 years?
Yeah.
8 years. Somewhere between
It's gotten
4
a lot
and
of
8.
good
Somewhere
use.
between 4 and 8.
Yeah.
And there's one signature on the guitar, and it's Chet Atkins.
Chet Atkins, country gentleman.
That's
country
very
guitar
cool.
picker.
There's a couple of ways that people who are listening can actually see Blue Rodeo. One is to go to your local video store and rent the Meryl Streep movie, Postcards from the Edge. You were in the band that backed her up on the stage at the end of the movie when she finally got up the nerve to sing in front of an audience. That was you?
Yeah. Yes, that
I'm
was
breaking out.
in the heart. I'm
The
breaking
Heartbreak
out in the Heartbreak
Hotel.
Hotel. My dermatologist should come over soon.
That's
We were. It was back in I don't know 80 or 90 or something like that, and they wanted to have a real band to develop this song with us. So really, literally, we got a call out of the blue. Said, it's Paramount Pictures. We'd like you to be in a Meryl Streep movie. Oh yeah, sure. Okay,
And
sure.
we were.
We'll
our
be right
song
over.
was nominated for an Oscar.
Yes, I know, but they didn't get
So
us
I
to
don't
do it,
want
did
to
they?
talk about that much, but
No.
you know.
Yes, it was the contest. We just kept on winning.
Hmm.
It was a totally strange experience. I mean, it was a very pleasant experience. Everybody was very nice to us. We were just sort of flown down. They flew up to us. Meryl Streep and Mike Nichols flew up to us
Wow.
in Toronto and did a little audition with us.
Yeah, we were busy, so they had to come
Yeah,
up to
I mean,
us.
we can't be flying. We had a lot of So
That's impressive, though.
oh, they were all very nice and normal, but it was in a very very abnormal setting. I mean, we were in a lot and
It's called
it was
Hollywood.
called and even within that reality, it was a strange reality. It was on the Paramount lot, and they had built this bar, and they had a lot of extras that filled this bar, and we just sat there and played all day. We would just play songs, and she'd come over and sing with us a little bit, and then go back to shoot her other scene. We did it all, and they looked at it and they said, "We have to do it again. It's no good." We thought we were bums and maybe we'd screwed it up, but they didn't like the background, so we did it all again. Took another 5 days or whatever.
And
And
you're
then we went back
immortalized.
to our reality. When we left Los Angeles, we flew our final first-class ticket to Louisville, and we went to a bar called Uncle Pleasant's, which probably holds 85 people. So we went from one rich pageant to our own.
Right. And you are immortalized on film now. And it was a weird way to end that movie. It was a strange movie anyway.
Yeah.
But more practical way to see you guys is to show up tonight at the Troubadour Blue Rodeo. You going around 10-ish?
I think something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Dead Hawk Workshop.
Our
Up
opening,
for us around
right?
9,
And
yeah.
we hear good things about them as well.
Very good band.
Yeah, they're a good band.
All right, Blue Rodeo. Thanks for visiting us in the music hall.
Well,
Thank
thank you
you.
for having us here again.
Good luck.